let's chant together, do a sound together. It could be any sound. I'm going to invite us to do the sound of Om. So we're all kind of joining in together in any sound. So you can take your palms to the heart, you can take one hand over the other, and also listening, feeling into that vibration throughout the whole body. So I'll do an Om, you'll do what you do. So we'll hopefully all resonate with the sound together. So inhaling. Om. Good, and also in gratitude, having something that you're grateful for, just tuning into whatever that is in the organism and holding the dual awareness as we begin to move. So just for a moment, just wherever you're sitting, just kind of feel your body, maybe just touch into your body. You can tap into your body. Notice where it's tight with compassion and curiosity. If it's possible to bring curiosity and just touching any part of the body, tapping any part of the body. And let's just brush off as well. Just brushing off wherever you feel that your body needs that brushing off. And that also allows us to really sense our body more when we tap it, brush it. And maybe finding a place that's a little bit less sensitive, a little bit less aware in the body. And just giving that part a little bit of movement, sensation, tapping, touching. And maybe a sound. Ah, good. All right, so we're going to start with just noticing the stance you're in. If you're lying down, notice how you're lying down. Notice where the weight is. Is it on one side more than another? And you can move as you notice this. Is the temperature different on one side or another? And we're going to move slowly. And we're going to do this like a little wave, like a swan. This is one of a Kundalini yoga, from Kundalini yoga, and just kind of undulating forward and back. So if you're on your back, you can bend your knees. So it's a little kind of forward and back, like imagining like a swan dipping its head in the water, undulating in and out. And you can be as big or as small of a movement as you like. And kind of notice what parts are a little tighter this morning. And can you breathe with that movement? So in this little swan movement, finding your own rhythm of movement. So maybe the image of dipping, opening, breathing. And just what would you need to do to feel a little bit more grounded in this movement? You can take it to any corner, any little, you can let it be a side movement. It doesn't have to come forward. Maybe the breath becomes a little deeper. Maybe the movement becomes a little slower. Let's just do that a couple more breaths, just kind of really going into yourself. If you need to shift a position, shift a position. You can do this on all fours if that feels better. And just notice if there's like a self-awareness or a shyness. And then do the movement, maybe less of a movement or more of a movement. And inviting that healing peace to be with us and that resource. And we're going to come to seated and take our legs in front of us if that feels right. Good. And so we're going to just move from side to side again. So take the legs from side to side. And each time, maybe even slow it down. Can you really feel yourself move, the body move, the sitting bones move from side to side? And allowing any other parts to get involved here. And just maybe feeling your hands behind you. If you're on your back, feeling your back on the earth. And we're going to turn this into a twist. So we'll turn it, I'm going to go to the right side first. So going over to the right. And just maybe taking your left arm again, moving it in any way you like, and maybe your left leg wants to move as well. Moving my pillow. And then staying there or twisting further over, so maybe forearms on the earth. And then bringing this into a side stretch. So I'm going to come onto my forearm and just kind of hang out right here. So my knees are bent. I'm on my right side. I'm going to let the right ribs just kind of hang. So if you're standing, you can do a side stretch. If you're sitting, you can stretch to the side. If you're lying down, so if you're standing, yeah, just go ahead and do a side stretch. If you're lying down, just kind of let the ribs soften down without having to do too much. And see if it's without effort, breathe into that side of the ribs. And maybe breathing more through more of the body, and just notice where the breath is a little harder for it to move through. Good. And then we're going to kind of come up a little bit where you're supporting your ribs now. So they're not going to fall. Now they're more supported. And we're going to take have your hips in line with each other. And we'll take your left leg forward and then scoop it back, and then take your left arm forward. So now your left knee is going to come forward and your left elbow is going to come back. And then take the left leg back, left arm forward, and feel the side of that body. Good. Reaching, but keep your hips stacked. And then take the elbow back and feel into the left side of the abdominals. Good. Then we're just going to rest back down again. Any comfortable position. You can even come all the way down and take your left knee over the right. And a little twist there. And bend the right knee any amount, maybe even reaching back for it. Maybe reaching back for the foot. And then either turn right on over to the other side or come back up to sitting. You can turn right over to the left side if you want to, or rock a little bit from side to side with your knees. And again, just feeling the parts of you on the earth. And any sound that wants to come. And then we'll come on over to the left side. Maybe come all the way down in this twist. So you can be sitting in a chair and twisting here. And just come down any amount. You can the jaw soften. And then moving your arm and leg any amount if you want to, maybe making a circle. And remembering the weight of the body, sinking a little bit deeper each time if that's possible. Maybe moving the top leg. And then we're gonna, again, be on that side and let your ribs sink. Let it sink here. Yeah, and just kind of without having to do any effort. Maybe tuning into the points, the blue stars are all resonating. And then we'll come up a little more firmly. So now we're not going to sink into the ribs. And have your hips stacked. So have your right hip on top of the left. Take your left leg forward and then take it, right leg forward and then take it back and right arm forward. So right arm forward, right leg back. Let it feel really nice. Good. And then take it in and you're going to feel the sides of your belly, abdominal. And then just do that again. So stretching. And then bring it in. Just feel the strength of the belly here. And then let yourself rest again like you're at the beach. And maybe taking the right foot over the left. And then maybe reaching back for the left foot or not. And breathing here. Beautiful. And then slowly we'll come back up to sitting. With the knees in front again. And we'll do our abode pose, tuning into the belly, any amount. So maybe reaching behind your thighs. Maybe just shift, just feeling into that belly. You can come back a little bit and lifting your knees any amount, your feet any amount. Yeah. Without compromising your back. And maybe extending an arm or having your hands behind you. And then just with your feet down or up, just come up to one side, hands to one side. Again, feeling the side of the abdominal and the other side. So do it your way, one more time each side. So coming to one side, feeling into your belly. Just want to feel some engagement where we can begin to kind of focus into that part that can transmute. Good, and then come back up. Good, and just shake everything for a moment if that feels right. Anything that needs to shake. Let's come on to all fours. All right. So you're welcome to have like a pillow with you or blocks with you, anything that you can feel for support. And let's just come first into a child pose. So big toes together, knees apart. Pillow could be under your tush, under your forehead. And just relax. Or just soften any amount. And so you're welcome to stay there or come onto all fours. Good. So staying in that child pose or all fours. And then we're going to shift your hips to the right, like we did last time. And you're going to just kind of bring your hands a little bit to the left, so a little bit of the side body. And then we'll come back up again on all fours and shift your hips to the left, hands over to the right. And finding a rhythm with that, coming forward. And you can just stay back here and shift. You can even just rock from side to side in that child pose. Or you can come onto an all fours, onto a downward dog pose. So either take off my socks, either doing this, kind of you're shifting from side to side. You can come on up and shift if you want to move more. Or you can come into a little downward dog where you're on all fours. And wherever you are, begin to feel your fingers clawing into the floor. Begin to feel the fingers like your claws. And good. And then from here, so you're either coming side to side, hips to the side and up, or side and up, or in this downward dog, you're going to shift your knees to the right, heels to the left, and feel that side stretch that way, and coming up into a plank or all fours, and then shifting again, heels to the right, knees to the left, like you're sitting back toward your heels. Good. So either way, or you're just resting. So just come from side to side on all fours in this child pose, in the downward dog. And then just take rest wherever you are. So sitting back, sitting up. Maybe making a pillow with your forearms. And then just remembering, what is that healing piece? Whatever that healing piece that came to you, just embrace it if you can, welcome it. And at the same time, having your resource and knowing that you're in control of the situation. So my healing piece that comes to me is this part of me that doesn't feel wanted, right? And so not all of me, but there's this part of me. So I'm just kind of saying, okay, there you are, to that piece. All right, so coming onto all fours, if you like, and we're just gonna kind of move the hips, maybe from side to side. If you're standing, you can bend the knees and move the hips. Maybe making a circle. And then just bringing curiosity into that healing piece, like we're not gonna push it away. And then welcoming in that piece, maybe even stronger, the resource part. Maybe the floor feels more supportive, or I look around more for beauty, or I tune into more of who's supporting me in my life. And let's turn this into a figure eight. So a figure eight hips. And can you add the breath in this figure eight? Figure eight, make it as big or as little as you like. And then maybe add the figure eight with your nose as well. You can reverse the direction. And can you try to do an opposite figure eight with your nose? That's from your hips. So hips go in one direction, figure eight, nose goes in another direction. It's very difficult. I can't really do it, especially when I'm teaching. Beautiful. And resting in a child pose or a downward dog. Good. And let's just slide right now onto your belly. Yeah. Sliding onto your belly. And you can have a pillow underneath you, or make a little pillow holding onto your elbows, and bring your forehead to the floor. And breathing in through the belly. So this is a real opportunity to notice the breathing, Notice the part of us that can really soften into the earth. And if you like, come on up into a Sphinx pose onto your forearms. And begin to feel the strength of your legs as well. So we've got your forearms down, you've got your legs strong, and can you soften into the pelvis and soften into the jaw? And we're just going to do a little cat-cow here. So you inhale your heart out, exhaling, rounding and widening the shoulders when you round. Good, again, so inhale, head up, and rounding. Good. Now we're going to take your left, keep your left forearm down, and we're going to come to the fingertips of your right hand. And you can take your hand a little bit wider. Yeah. And you can stay on the forearm on the left hand or even come onto the hand on the left. Either way. And we're going to look a little bit more over to the right. So exploring over to the right. So the right hand's on fingertips, a little wide, and just exploring. You can move through the shoulders and really feel the stability of your legs. Good. And then coming to the other side. So forearm of the right hand or the right hand down, fingertips of the left hand, looking over. Good. And then coming back to center. If you want to do that one more time, you can. And then we'll come back to this Sphinx pose here. We've done this before. This is one of my favorites. So we're going to inhale again, head up, belly down, exhale, round. When you round, you can keep your hips down or you can press through the knees and lift them up. You can stay there or tuck your toes and come into a forearm plank. And then coming back down, heart up. Softening, widening down. Keeping your knees down is perfect and just working the spine, right? Or pressing into the forearms, feeling the strength of your belly, lifting the knees down, lifting your belly, or tucking your toes and lifting your whole part of you. Good, and just do that a couple more times, your way. Inhaling and exhaling. Good. And then, if you like, we're going to come back on over to the side again. So we're going to come onto the side, either on our forearm again, right? Or this is super challenging. You can bring your knee down and lift up, or coming up on the side plank, which is very challenging. Yeah? So either way, keeping the hip down, and like we did before, hips align. You're welcome to take the right leg back, left arm forward, really stretch it, and bring it back. And we'll do that on the other side. So rolling over to the other side. So just hanging out on the side here. Maybe coming into a little higher up or staying here, aligning your hips. And again, left arm forward, left leg back, and then bring it in. Good. And then one more time on your belly. Maybe you're just resting your arms and just take your right knee into your right heel into your tush and squeeze your heel into your tush with a lot of energy. Squeeze it so much that maybe your thigh lifts off the floor. I'm just looking at you, that's why my head is up, but you can keep your head down. And maybe extending that leg long. and then bring it down. And perhaps rocking from side to side. Maybe shaking here. Let's just do the other side. So left heel comes in and squeeze it with energy here. Squeezing and tuning into the support and the strength of the legs as a symbol for healing. And maybe squeezing so much that the thigh lifts off the floor and extends out, and then bring it down and shake it out. And then just one more thing here on this belly, extending your arms in front of you and maybe lifting your right arm, left leg up any amount. And then switching sides. So you can come up an inch off the floor, any amount. Bring it down. And then have the hands by the side again. And we're going to lift up any amount and bend your knees, inhaling up, exhaling down. Inhaling up, exhaling down. And then just roll on over on your back. Roll on over. If you're sitting, you can just soften. And if you're on your back, bring your knees into the chest and rock from side to side. Good. And then from here, bringing your feet down, maybe lifting your arms and hips up at the same time, like a little stretch. And then bring it down at the same time. Can your hands and hips come down at the same time? One more time, lifting your arms and hips up over. And then bring it down at the same time. And then crossing your right foot over the left thigh. Staying here or bringing the left knee in towards you, any amount. You can rock here. What else can soften? And then shifting left foot over right thigh. You can keep it down or bring the knee in and rocking. Any amount here. And then we'll take a final twist before we end today. So if you are on your back, shift your hips over to the right, knees to the left. You can extend your arm. Just let yourself really find comfort. Maybe taking a pillow between your knees. Maybe opening your arms like wings. And then just remembering your intention of the class, of the time you're here today. Maybe allowing for this next piece of healing and the spiraling up to present itself. And then shifting to the other side. So shifting your hips to the left, knees to the right. What more can soften? Your head can move in any direction. Your knees maybe are closer or further away. Curiosity for those parts that that came to this moment today. Being compassionate with all that is here. And then allow yourself to just take a moment to come into a final position of rest, any position of rest. So it could be sitting, lying down. So for this moment, there's nowhere to go and nothing to do. And just notice if your body has come into a familiar pattern. I know I tend to override sensation and just bear it, and so what needs to happen to find a bit more degree of softening? And if you like, with gratitude for all the work you've done, or gratitude for anything that comes to you right now, just encompassing that sense of gratitude. You can stay there or come up to complete in any way you like. We'll end with an Om together. So inhale. Namaste. The light in me sees the light in you.